Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lesson 8.3 Solving Two-Step Equations Part 2. We're going to begin with some key concepts, so we need to have some vocabulary we need to write down. And let me see if I can slide this little dude down a little bit. Okay, solving a two-step equation requires transforming the equation into a series of simpler equivalent equations until you isolate the variable on one side and a number on the other. What is that saying? It says you want the letter by itself and then you have a number on the other side. So we're going to do everything we can doing PEMDAS, or the order of operations, backwards so that we can get the variable or letter all by its lonesome. It doesn't play well with others. Step 1. Undo addition or subtraction. This is essential. This is what we have to do. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, because the audio is not working, I will do the reading and talking. For many equations, you can undo addition or subtraction first. So that's what your job is. You're sitting here, you're going, let's see. If I look at this equation, what is being added or subtracted on the side with the variable that I can undo? You identify it. Once you've identified it, you say, okay, what is the opposite of this? Well, this is adding 1.5, so the opposite is subtracting 1.5. If I do it to one side, I have to be equal, and I have to do it to the other side. So then these become 0, and then this becomes 1.25, and I just carry this down. And the same with the equal signs. The equal signs technically just come straight down as well. And I have x divided by 3 equals 1.25. Please pause this, take the notes you need to take. This is essential. If you do not get how to solve equations, I'm sorry to tell you, there's a lot of math ahead that's going to be very painful for you. So this is an essential thing that we learn. You're wondering, how do you use this in real life? Really, it's kind of surprising how it's hidden in our day-to-day life when we're trying to solve for any unknown. Maybe you want to know what you have to divide the cost of a ticket to somewhere is, or there's a membership fee, and then if you rent so many DVDs online or in the mail, then it's by price, or things like that. Maybe you want to do Amazon Prime and you want to see is it really your benefit. You're going to use things like this. Okay. Step 2. You are undoing multiplication or division. Think about the order of operations. The order of operations says subtraction, addition is your last steps. We're undoing it. That would be our fourth step. So then our next step would be the multiplication or division. So we look and we say, oh, we have x divided by 3. What is the inverse operation of division? Multiplication. Remember, inverse just means opposite of how to undo. So we're going to multiply by 3 to undo the division. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Remember, you may also always place a number over 1 without changing it. It kind of keeps things nicely lined up for you. This would give you, and I'm going to write it over here because I have lots of space for this, 3x over 3. When you have a number, the same number over the same number, so you have 3 over 3, that really becomes a 1. So then you get 1x, or as you know, mathematicians tend to be a little lazy. We don't want to write more than we have to, so we write just a plain old x. So we multiply that, and it's going to leave us with just an x. You're going to bring that down. You bring down your equals. 3 times $1.25 or 1.25 hundredths is going to be 3 and 75 hundredths. So x equals 3 and 75 hundredths. Again, write down every step that you need. These are essential pieces. These are things you're going to be living by. The next step cannot be said enough that it is essential. It is check because you've got to make sure that it worked. Did it make sense? Did it turn out the way it's supposed to? I want to see that you're checking your answer. You're not just stopping once you find an answer. You're only halfway done at that point. So if I said x was equal to 3.75, wherever I see x, I plug in that 3.75. Sorry about that. Went a little too far down. So I plug that in right there because that's where there was an x. I do the math. 3.75 divided by 3 gives me 1.25. 1.25 plus 1.5 does in fact equal 2.75. These are both equal. It checks. We're all happy. You're happy, I'm happy, and the equation's happy. Okay, this is your key concepts. These are essential. Make sure you go back through, look at any questions you have, come to class prepared to ask those questions. Be prepared to tell me how to solve an equation using these 3 steps. We're going to try some examples now. If the page loads. Okay, so we need to drag the tiles to complete the solution. So we have 5b minus 3.75 equals 26.25. We need to see what it is that we need to do. Well, let's see. Does this go here maybe? What do we think? Why or why not? I'm subtracting negative, I'm not subtracting a negative. I have a negative 0.37 of 3.75 hundredths, and I need to make that a 0, so I need to have the opposite, so positive 3.75, or I'm subtracting 0.375, so I need to add a 3.75. Whatever I do to this side, I must, that's right, do it to this side, so this would have to be my answer. At this point, I want you to try this on your own and see how far can you get. Then when you come back, so pause, when you come back, we'll see how well did you do. How are you doing at the very beginning of this concept? Sorry guys, I was trying to shortchange a little bit there and that didn't work too well. I thought it would fill these in automatically, but that's okay. I'm perfectly capable of doing this. So let's see, how did yours check compared to mine? Before I checked my solution, we handled this by adding the opposite that I had to add a negative, or subtracting, so I took the opposite. That left me is just 5b equals 30. 5 is being multiplied to b, so I need to get rid of that 5. b wants to be by itself. So I divide by 5 to do so. If I divide this side by 5, I've got to divide this side by 5. So when I do the math, I do get b equals 6. Hopefully my logic is correct. Yay, it is. Excellent, you are correct. Yes, we're awesome like that. And again, she's going to get stuck on there, isn't she? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you need to rewind, as I keep trying to click her and she's not going away, sad, 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 feel free to go ahead and rewind and look at those answers if you needed to. Oh, there she goes. I don't know. Okay, so we need to drag the tiles to complete the solution. So this time, they show us every step. And look, it's the same problem. Guess what's important in this lesson? Yes, how to solve a two-step equation, knowing when and what to do. So we have, I don't like that they're all in one box. I'm just kind of dragging out. Okay, so we needed to write the original equation. Ooh, fancy terms. Divisions, okay. The division property of equality. Addition property of equality. Hopefully you remember some of these things. So we write the original equation. The addition property of equality means if I'm subtracting, I can add something or simplify. I'm going to need to divide because I'm multiplying, and then I need to simplify again. And again, yay for us. Oh, she went away the first time too. Even better. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have one more part to do and a close and check. I'm going to finish this section, part 3 on this example, and then we'll do part 3 and close and check in a third video. This is just a lesson out of all of our lessons. This is so important to get these steps and processes that I want to make sure that we are taking the time to do so. And apparently my computer's taking its time too. And it's still taking its time. Okay, so we need to solve the equation k divided by 2 plus 7.3 equals 29.3. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the first thing I gotta do when I'm looking here? What is the first thing I gotta do? Because I'm undoing this. So if this is PEMDAS and this is doing, and I want to undo, that's right. Anything that's being added or subtracted, and I know some of you are like, yes, the 7.3, correct. Now that's got a plus sign with it, so what would be the opposite? Subtract 7.3. If I do it to one side, I've got to do it to both sides, right? So when I do this, that becomes a 0. 29.3 minus 7.3 gives me 22. I need to keep my equal signs. Bring this down. K divided by 2. If I'm dividing, what do? I multiply. What do I multiply? The number that's on the side with the K. So in this case, 2. I'm going to multiply this side by 2. This becomes just K, or 1K, but again, we don't like to write more than we have to, equals 44. We use the different properties, the addition or subtraction property of equality. We did the multiplication property of equality, the division property of equality kind of thing, where we were allowed to undo these. Oh my goodness, my pen went down too far. Okay, so this is what I'm showing you. Let me make sure you write this down if you need to, but I'm also going to show you the solution, which might be neater. Okay, it is neater. Write the equation. Subtraction property of equality. We subtracted, we took the opposites. They got k divided by 2 is 22. They knew this was division, so they needed to multiply by 2 because 2 is what's over here with the k. When they did that, they got k equals 44, just like we did. Oh, you guys, I hope you were yelling at me. I didn't check it. I didn't get my points. So now wherever I see k, I got to plug 44 in. 44 divided by 2 is going to give me 22. Now that I've done that, I can do all this stuff. So 22 plus 7.3 does in fact give me 29.3, and that does check. Excellent. 3, please.